Hello, everyone. I'm ZHAO Chuang. Let's draw the hind limbs of Acrocanthosaurus today. Before drawing the hind limbs of Acrocanthosaurus, we need to learn about what its leg muscles were like. Then we can know how its legs move with the support of its muscle structure, so that we can draw its legs more vividly. Actually, we don't need to have a complete understanding of its leg structure like anatomists. We just need to know a few points. First, the dinosaur could kick its legs forward and pull them back, which meant that there was a set of muscles in the front of the bone that could pull its legs forward, and a set of muscles in the rear that could help its legs extend backward. It is necessary to have these two sets of muscles. On the side of the thigh, there was a group of muscles in the middle that coordinated movements to both sides and could pull its leg outward. The same goes for its shanks. As the dinosaur stretched its shanks backward, its shanks had full muscles, and when it kicked, it didn't need to use much strength. So the muscles in the front of its legs were smaller. After we know those points, it will be easier for us to draw its legs. Now let's draw the hind limbs of Acrocanthosaurus. Let's first draw its thigh. Before that, we need to outline its ilium. Let's draw a square ilium till here. Then let's draw its knee about here. At the joint between its thigh and shank, we can draw some folds, because it often bent. After that, let's draw the muscles on its thigh. On the side of its thigh, triangular muscles were wrapping all the way to its knee. There were 3 sets of triangular muscles. Here are the 3. At the back of its thigh, there was a triangular muscle at this position that connected to its shank. There was another set of muscles in the rear. Next, let's draw its shank. Below its knee, there was its shank bone, in the front of which there was a bulge. Its shank looked S-shaped. On both sides of its shank bone, there was a set of full muscles. At the end of which there was its Achilles tendon connected to the back of its heel. Let's draw some folds in the front of its ankle. Its ankle joint was here, both sides of which were wrapped by 2 sets of muscles and tendons like flowing water. Let's draw its metatarsus forward, which were equivalent to the human's instep. Here is the outline of its metatarsus. It had 3 metatarsal bones, but from this angle, we can only see 2. Among the 3 metatarsal bones, the middle one was the longest, and there was a short one on each side. At the back of the metatarsus, there were some muscles and skin, and in front of it were its toes. It had 4 toes, with 3 of which it used to walk. Among the 3 functional toes used for walking, the middle one was the longest and it had a claw in the front pointing downward. When it walked, the tips of its claws were parallel to the ground, and they often wore down, so they were flat. The outer toe was smaller, under which there was a thick pad. There was a pad behind these 3 toes too. At the inner side, there was a small claw pointing backward. That was its first toe. Let's draw soft skin between its thigh and shank to make it look smooth, connected all the way to its tail. Let's draw some big scales on the dorsal side of its toes. Such big scales can still be seen on today's birds. As the layer of skin above the foot bones was thin, such strong scales were needed to provide protection. Let's draw the other leg. Only the shank can be seen. Here, let's draw its instep. The inner toes, the first toe, and the pads under its toes, big scales on the dorsal side of its toes, and big scales on the instep. We can draw some folds at its ankle, and some bigger scales on the dorsal side of its first toe. Good, like this, we've finished drawing the hind limbs of Acrocanthosaurus.